people. Yes, I'm back and I'm excited. So for those of you who do not know who I am, my name is Chanel Spencer. I am the CEO of Maximum Evolution, and I help women to transform their lives by bringing their vision into fruition. Because today we are no longer waiting for a seat at anybody else's table. We're just going to go build our own. Okay. And that's on a period. But anyway, so I thank all of you that are here already tuning in. I appreciate all of you. For those of you who do not know what is happening today, today is our soft launch for a project that I've been working on. Our Truth is Not a Lie. Just a little tidbit so you can see what it's about. Hold on. So for those who do know me, you know I like to be extra and have like all these visuals and graphics and stuff like that. So that's just a little bit about Our Truth is Not a Lie. So what Our Truth is Not a Lie is a compilation of 18 authors who talk about their Black experience. You know, in today's climate, in today's world, we all have different experiences that kind of shape who we are as individuals. And I felt that it was super important to do this project, which is a passion project of mine, to provide a Black platform for those who look just like me to share their stories, have a voice, and to be heard, because it's so often that we don't necessarily get acknowledged, or when we share our stories that we are actually heard and not minimized and marginalized for being who we are. That is uncontrollable. I can't change what I look like. Even if I wanted to get plastic surgery, I can't, even though I don't want to, just saying. But I can't change what I look like. We can't change what we look like, but we can definitely change how the world perceives us and how the world treats us by being who we are, which is nothing but excellence. Because I don't like to surround myself by greatness and excellence, period. And so I have some amazing authors here with us to join and tell you a little bit about their chapters, but as well as their story and what's happening in today's world. And I just want to start with saying RIP to Chadwick Boseman. I heart you and super proud of everything that you stand for and everything that you have done in this world. It has left such a major impact. And if it does nothing else, it should give motivation to those who are going through different trials and having different adversities in this moment to understand that you can push through and be who you want to be and step into your greatness, even with everything that's happening in the world and anything that may be holding you back. So I thank you for all that you have done and all that you put out into this world, because it has been motivation and inspiring to so many individuals. And I know everybody that is on this session with us today can say the same and has had some impact and will continue to have impact on so many lives like you have. So I appreciate everything that you do, and rest in peace to you, and condolences and love to your family. So let's get into this. So we have a lovely co-author. Listen, I don't need to introduce these people. I let them introduce themselves, because listen, they are powerhouse, powerful people. I don't like to be surrounded by greatness. I don't know about you, but if you like to be surrounded by greatness, type in the chat greatness. Type in the chat where you're coming in from. Thank you for tuning in with us. We're super excited, and I hope you are ready for this launch and session. Say hello to the beautiful people.
Hello, good afternoon.
So tell people who you are.
Yes, so I am Vernae Taylor, the CEO of Triple Threat Vision, that primarily empowers women through special events, performing arts, and literary works. I am now, thanks to Chanel Spencer and some other beautiful authors, I am now a 4-time author. I have just recently came back from Washington, D.C., the March on Washington 2020 with the National Action Network, and it was beyond powerful and moving to be in the midst of all of our beautiful brothers and sisters, to stand together, to let our voices be heard for all of the injustice that have been going on. So for those that are listening, I want to implore you to vote, to get involved locally, to volunteer, donate in your grassroots organizations, and let your voice be heard. Shout out to Chanel Spencer for giving us this platform, because just like Chadwick Boseman said, everything is about purpose, and we need to live on purpose and live with a purpose. So whatever it is that you have that's burning inside, it needs to get out. Give that to the world, offer it to the world, and let your light shine. Oh, and just so how you can actually get connected with me. I am also working on a book, Letters to My Father, that will be out within the next month or two. So you can connect with me later on Instagram and Facebook at Vernae Taylor. That's V like Victorious, ERNAE TAYLOR. And I will actually be running a masterclass. Healing from a Loss and Overcoming Grief with our Transform to Heal Mastermind Conference. So connect with us. You can find all that on my social media. Click on that link, get registered. It's a free registration just to go ahead and get healing, get the support that you need, and be great.
Yes. Shout out to all my authors in the building. Okay. I'm super excited and thank you for being here. Congratulations again for listen. I only like to be surrounded by greatness. 4-time author, that's what I am talking about. Yes. And you said some powerful things about voting and making sure that we understand our rights and what we can do to impact the world. So I appreciate you and I'm super proud of you for going. That's amazing. Oh, that's such a beautiful thing. But we have Angela Tate here say she's coming in from Atlanta, Georgia. She said, congratulations, Vernae. Hey, Angela. Actually, I love Angela. So we met this past weekend at the Urban CEO magazine photo shoot. Oh my gosh, she was speaking all kinds of life. Oh my goodness, she's so amazing. So shout out to you, Angela. Thank you for being here and tuning in with us. We appreciate you. The rest of you, type in where you're tuning in from, and if you feel free to leave your comments and share your story. Thank you again, Vernae. She'll be right back. Don't worry about it. And our next author here, say hello to the beautiful people.
Hello, beautiful people.
Yes.
Nice to be here.
It's yours. It's your moment.
Hello, everyone. My name is Lavar Thomas. I'm the founder and CEO of Empower for Greatness, and I work with aspiring leaders, entrepreneurs, and young professionals overcome the mental limitations that's in their way of stepping into their own greatness. I'm also the co-founder of Leaders of the Free World, and we work with young Black males nationally, and we provide international leadership development opportunities as well as cross-cultural learning. So for 2 weeks, we take them to Ghana, West Africa, and we basically break all of the stigmas and stereotypes that they have about themselves and the world around them. And when they return, they implement in different projects in their community. They become really global game changers in their own right. I'm also a returned peaceful volunteer. I served in Rwanda, East Africa from 2014 to 2016. And I'm really excited to be a part of this project because when we tell our stories, we're able to not only embrace our own truth, but to not be ashamed of who we're being led to be. Vernae mentioned stepping into the power and purpose, and it's so important for us to understand our own uniqueness and how we are able to not only speak life, but also to claim the change we want to have in our circumstances and in our community. So I'm really excited to share more about my chapter title about rewriting the narrative. I'm currently in the process of writing my book called The Other Side of Letting Go. It's a reiteration of my TED Talk that I gave last year. And it speaks about how can we begin to let go of the things that are no longer serving us? How do we let go of things that, maybe us telling ourselves who we're not and what we're capable of not becoming and doing? It's us letting go of those false truths and claiming the power that I believe God has called us to live. So you can follow me at Empower for Greatness, number 4 on Instagram and at Lavar Thomas on LinkedIn and Facebook. I'm really excited to talk about this book.
Yes. Did you hear him say he had a TED Talk? I'm just saying. I love it. So we actually met at the Lisa Nichols conference 3 years ago or something like that.
Yeah,
3 years ago, right?
Yeah.
Didn't I say like-minded, powerful individuals? Did you hear his story? Oh my goodness, I'm so proud of you, and thank you again for being on this project. And I know you have another book coming. Look, surrounded by authors and people just making changes and putting greatness into this world. I absolutely love it. And so thank you for your yes and congratulations for being an author. And I know that we have more coming. If you want to know, you got to stay tuned. Mind your business for now. But thank you so much, Lavar. And Lavar will be right back. Don't worry about it. So up with our next amazing author. Say hello to the beautiful people.
Hi, good afternoon, you guys. How you doing?
All right, tell people who you are.
Hi, you guys. I am Evangelist Ramsey-Lane, and I am the CEO and the founder of CEO Diva, and also the CEO and founder of Millennials Ministry Radio Talk Show. I am a speaker. I will be a 7-time author this year. God is really elevating me for the shift, so I'm amazed by that. I'm just blessed to be a part of this amazing project. Chanel is a wonderful person. She's like a sister to me, and the shift is so serious for this year for me. I'm elevated in so many areas. I wear a lot of hats. I want to break everything down, but just know I'm active in so many ways. But I take my ministry very seriously. My new project for this year will be mentoring for healing deliverance for people who have went through trauma and coming out of pain, making a change for purpose. And it will be kingdom purpose pusher mentoring. So stay tuned for that. Stay connected. You can find me on Facebook, Evangelist Lane, and go follow my page, my radio page, Millennials Ministry for your talk show. So my title was From Trauma to Power Purpose. That was my title for the chapter for this book.
You heard her say she's a radio host, right? She got her own radio show. I'm just saying. You heard that, right? Listen. Listen. And she has a whole bunch of different things that I know she's working. Listen. Look, I can't even listen. I can't even tell you how amazing all these people are. Like, oh my gosh, like we got a radio host, we got a tech talk person, like we got Vernae who's got her books coming out, and she's lucky I didn't put her on the spot because she sings. Okay, anyway. The last time I had her on, she was saying some high notes to me. Okay, but yes, I thank you again so much, Taniesha.
It's a pleasure.
I appreciate you for being on this project with us, and I know that your story was important to share, and I know that you are a game changer. Your story is so powerful from where you were to where you are today, and what you do and how you do it, and it's just such an amazing honor to have you on this platform and on this project as well. So thank you. And last but not least, definitely not least, okay, who do we have here? You ready to say hi to the beautiful people? You ready? Hi, how are you?
What's going on? Good morning, everybody. God bless you. Happy Monday to you. I am Pastor Cassandra Elliott, life and business coach, best-selling author, worship leader, pastor, your no excuse engineer. I help you live a life without excuses and regain passion for your purpose. I'm so excited to be a part of this project because it gives us an avenue to share our voice, but also the power of collaboration. I believe that in these times, that when we come together to unite as one voice, that power of collaboration literally can change the world. No man is an island, and we all need each other. And so I don't know where you are or what you're dealing with, but guess what? You can't do it by yourself. You need people. We need people. We don't have to fight alone. We don't have to live alone. We don't have to work alone. The power of collaboration literally will make impact and show us that, guess what? Race should not divide us. That when we come together as one, with one united purpose, we can literally change the world. And I know that we're going through a lot right now. There's a lot of unrest in these unprecedented times, but I believe that as we put our differences to the side, that we can really come together and really make the world a different place, a unique place, not only for our now, come on, this is powerful here, but for who is to come, for our children that are living now, but also for our children that are to come. They don't have to face some of the things that we've had to go through, but they can know that I can change the world through the power of collaboration. Come on, somebody. We can change the world when we literally put I gotta say it one more time, it bears repeating, our differences to the side, and know that even though we're uniquely different individually, but when we come together, come on, together we can make power happen, and we can make change happen. I really believe that this is a season that change is getting ready to happen. We're entering into another season, another time in our lives, and here it is. If you don't put something into it, if you don't, come on, collaborate or come together with other people, nothing will change, nothing will happen. And so I'm so glad to be a part of this project with these powerful people. You've heard people that have come before me, powerful voices that had something to say that, guess what, will make impact. I know that this book literally is going to shift the culture. And I'm so honored to have served with them and also with Chanel Spencer, a woman of excellence. And I was just honored to be asked to be a part of this. And I know that we're only going up from here, from this moment, from the moment that this book hits the earth, hits the atmosphere, that literally lives are going to be changed. And so I'm proud, very, very proud to be a part of this, and so glad to be here today to share my part. I just love living the life that I live, that I get to literally connect with other people of like minds that want to see change in the world. And so I want to encourage everybody right now, don't give up. It's not over. It's not over. Things will change and can change if we do our part.
Yes. Let me tell you something. Okay, so I need everybody to understand. Do you see why I have all of these amazing people on this project? Like, do you understand? Like, do you like?
It's in church.
Let me tell you, she didn't even rehearse that. Okay, like that. Like, oh my, this Pastor Cassandra, you already know how I feel about you. Like when we're in the bridge. Oh my goodness, I just be like, can we just stay for the rest of the day? Because I can listen to her all day, like what she says, what she speaks over all of us, and just the energy and you're amazing. Tell people about your chapter. What is your chapter title, and also what is your chapter about?
So I had a really, really rough night last night. I'm sorry. I had minor surgery this weekend, so my mind is a little all over the place. But I talked about God is the one who just tells us who we are. Mm-hmm. You don't let people determine who you are. Mm-hmm. God is the one who determines who you are. Mm-hmm. And thank you for the opportunity to say that, because I've experienced things based on being a woman, being a musician, based on my race. A lot of opportunities were not given to me. Chanel, you know how it is when you walk into a room, people will look at your skin and say, nah, she ain't got it. But guess what? When you step into a room and determine why you're there, and you show people why you're there, they don't get to deny you. They don't get to deny the gift that you are because of your skin color. And I've experienced it a lot because of being a woman and also because of my race. But I'm telling you, when you let God determine who you are and not people, and know who you are, I guarantee you that your life that has hit the earth will impact lives forever.
Yeah. What I told you. See?
And I want to encourage you. I want to encourage you. Mm-hmm. You've been through a lot. Mm-hmm. But I'm telling you, you're
not doing this to me today. You are not going to be crying this live. You are not doing this to me today.
I'm so proud of you, man. Listen. I'm so proud of you, man.
I appreciate you. I really appreciate you. Like, I really do. Oh my gosh, I love all of you for real. I'm like, she's not doing it to me today. Do you hear?
I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. No, I don't mind. Look, you already got my eyes worried. You can start talking again. Listen, you've been through a lot. I'm like, I know.
But you are an inspiration to us. Why? Because you got the push. You push beyond.
Yes.
And not only that, but you brought other people with you so we can push too. So thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. I appreciate you. Oh my gosh. Okay. I'm getting on. You're not even on. Absolutely not. Say hello. Say hello. I can't do it.
Well, let the church say amen.
Like, oh my goodness. I'm like, hey, like, and that's it. Thank you, everybody, for coming in. Oh no, hold on 1 second. Yeah, hold on. So, beautiful people, you mentioned something super important in regards to having because of our color of our skin, or us being a woman or being a Black man, impacts the opportunities that we get or don't get. So has anyone experienced that on any level in their past life? You know what I'm saying? In the past?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have. When I first started in entrepreneurship, I was good enough to give people ideas, but I wasn't good enough to speak. And I feel like I let fear and doubt, now, they go hand in hand, sure indeed, but I think it was the fear of me speaking publicly at first, on camera, that what made me shut my mouth up. But I don't know. God has been working for the last 3 years. I have been a 360. And I just thank God for me and you guys being in my life. Even Pastor Cassandra, when I first met her, I was like amazed. I was like, okay. When she told me the meaning of no, and how to tell people no, and I've been sticking to that since we talked about that conversation, and it's been amazing for me for the last 2 months. Even though I've been like, the enemy been busy, I don't let it get to me. I just push forward and keep it moving because we have something to give. And like they say, well, whoever was first shall be last, and who was last shall be first in this season. And I am one that was last back then, but now I am first, and I plan to do what God tell me to do, is go out there and save people for his kingdom and push his work, give his knowledge, share his wisdom, and really let them understand that they're not alone. We all been through something. I come from trauma and pain. I came from rape. I came from domestic violence. I know what it feels like to be in a mental hospital. So nobody can tell me that God is not able. And he's not there, because he's there. It's just that we have to learn to know the signs and listen to him and hear clearly and follow him. And I had to learn that for myself. If I can give the worldly things years of my life, why not give God a chance?
Mm-hmm.
It's no longer me being quiet. So I just thank God for the clarity and then the connection. Like she said, it's a collaboration. That's what it is. I learned that 2 years ago at Urban CEO. The collaborations has been real for me, like really real. And I just thank God for that, because now I'm able to push forward. It's just so many names I can name right now, but to God be the glory. I just thank God for all you guys. And I just love the fact this book, and I was like, oh my gosh. Like, I'm so, I cannot wait to see and hear these stories. Like, we all got something in common, but everybody's story is different, but it's going to help one another. And that's what it's all about.
Yes. Oh my gosh. You said so many amazing and powerful pieces in regards to taking your pain and turning it into purpose. And you are the true definition of your past doesn't define who you are or who you are destined to be. And whatever is assigned to you, no matter what's happening, whatever comes and tries to put barriers and blockages and people and whatever to stop you from being who you want to be in this world, as long as it's assigned to you, it will happen in its right season. Okay. And we literally were just talking about the lack mindset and the crab in the barrel mindset of I'm winning now, and those who I helped to win are now not in the stands being my greatest cheerleader. And that's because a lot of people don't understand that concept, that what's assigned to you, no one can take from you. So even if somebody's doing the exact same thing, you could be doing the exact same thing as me. I will never feel threatened. I'm like, girl, come on my platform. Let's talk about what you do too. Yes. It doesn't matter to me, because it's all about, like you said, collaboration and understanding that we all have different values. We all bring something different. So you could tell your story, Taniesha, and I could tell mine, and it could be similar, but it's two different experiences. It's two different perspectives, and two different audiences are going to be attracted to what we're saying. So it doesn't matter if we both sit here doing Beyonce's choreography. Some people be like, oh, get off the stage. We don't want to see you, Chanel. They be like, yeah, go ahead, Taniesha. And they be like, oh, no, Taniesha, get off the stage. We don't want to see you. And they be like, yeah, go ahead, Chanel. But either way, we still on here doing Beyonce. Like, that's it. Like, you know what I'm saying? And that's what you have to understand. When we stick together and we win together, we will be unstoppable. Yes. It's because we're in the mindset of, oh, they on the top. Let's try to find a way to bring them down, versus saying, how can we help them? And that's why I'm so big on bringing people with me, because I want to see everybody win. Like when it's my season to win, it's gonna come. So if it's your season, Lavar, to win, you already know. I'm like, yes. And you see what I'm saying? Being in the stands, and that's how it works. That's how it's supposed to be. And we have to get into a place where we are working together so that we can all win collectively. Because one winning, I'm sorry, I say this all the time, one winning is everybody winning. You having a tech talk, I'm celebrating like it was me. You see what I'm saying? You having a radio station, I'm celebrating like it's me. Vernae, you good to go?
I think I should be.
Yes, hello.
Okay. Oh my goodness. Hi guys. I'm so sorry, but I'm back.
Yeah.
Like I never left.
Say, hold on. Listen to the comments. Sharon said we look great. Oh, thank you.
Thank you, Sharon.
Not too crazy. Hello, everybody. Say hi to
Hi, Catherine.
Oh my gosh. I don't care.
I know. I remember him from the last live.
Yeah. Listen, I go on vacation. Well, we haven't gone on vacation in a long time, so I don't want to make anybody upset. But I go on vacation all the time, and I go in with a lot of people. And some people they're just not it, right? Like you end up arguing, is something else happening. We went to DR on an impromptu trip, like literally, It was the best trip. I was like, I'm taking you on vacation with me every time because he's just such a love and such a light. I just can't. Oh, he loves me. I love you too. Yeah. Say hi to Tadrick, everybody. All right, bye, Tadrick. There. So back to our show. So yes, and just in that collaboration piece and understanding that we as one and we combining together as a collective and working together. That's the purpose of this project, was to say, hey, we all have different perspectives. We all have different challenges. We all have a common denominator, but ultimately we're all different numerators. Oh, that's a quote. But ultimately, us collaborating together and working together will only be for our greatest good. And like you said, with the future generation and the generations that are here now, like my children's children, I'm like super nervous with how things are. And earlier we had Dee on, who literally went through the segregation period. Like she was one of the first Black students in an all-white school. And I was like, I don't know how I would have been able to handle that. I probably would have been under the jail, because if you throw a rock at me, oh no, like it's World War III. You know what I mean? So for all of those who have gone through that during that time and who are here today, I can only imagine how it may trigger things in them. I was triggered when I saw George Floyd. That I was so triggered because, and all of the eruption and all of the exposure of all of these closet racists or all these people that have these wonderful perspectives, and I say wonderful in a sarcastic way. I was triggered, and I realized that when I was on a 1 Million Mamas town hall meeting with Martha Davidson, and she started talking about her corporate experience, how she literally had to like fight to get noticed, fight to be in a position. And when she talked about how she also was one of the first Black students to be in a desegregated school in her experience, and I believe she lives in South Carolina, North Carolina, one of the two, or Georgia, one of the three. And she literally mentioned her experiences, and that's what made me say I had this project downloaded to me from when the George Floyd situation happened, but being on that town hall meeting, I'm like, I got to do this now. Like, there's no way I can't do this now. I have to get this project out. And I knew exactly who I wanted. Hello, beautiful people. And I knew who would have like powerful stories to share, who would just do it so eloquently, and who would like literally just be as transparent and put it all on the table to impact so many lives and for healing for all of us, but also to impact so many who may be going through similar experiences, and understanding, like, even though we have, like you said, the race issue, and we have the adversities and the barriers that are set up against us, we can still be great. Like, we can still be amazing. We have that power within us, and to understand, like, hey, people are going to say what they want to say. People are going to act the way they're going to act and treat you the way that they want to treat you. But ultimately, is what you accept and what you allow. So at the end of the day, we got this. All right. So Vernae, tell us a little bit more about you and your experiences, and also tell us about a little bit more about what you experienced this past weekend.
Yes. So actually my chapter is You Are Worthy, because I think a lot of us as Black and Brown people don't know that. We haven't heard that enough. We need to kind of reaffirm our space and who we are. It's just as the pastor said, our identity, and really owning our identity through our Creator. But for You Are Worthy, for me, you know, I grew up in a predominantly white area, Summit, New Jersey, with maybe like literally I could count on both my hands the amount of Black people that we had. And for whatever reason, coming up, I never felt different. You know, my friends were like, oh, well, you're not like us. You have crossover appeal, whatever that means. You know, and so they saw me as different. So I didn't have overt racism. It wasn't in my face. It wasn't blatant. But as of recently, moving back to helping to help my grandmother and who's 90 years old, going to be 91 in October.
Wow,
so shout out to my grandmother, Miss Minnie. Everybody knows Miss Minnie in Summit, New Jersey. Coming back to help her, I see it's vastly different. You know, it's the type when you go into a room and you feel invisible. It's or people make you feel invisible, or you have to speak up to be noticed. You have to kind of create your own space. You know, I've been doing a lot of speaking and protesting and rallying for anti-bullying out in Milltown, out in Montclair, and so many different places, speaking on the behalf of people who maybe don't have the voice that we have, maybe are not as bold as we are. They don't feel comfortable speaking up, knowing that they have a space in this life and they deserve to be treated with respect. So going to DC, honestly, was just a no-brainer. My friend told me about it, register up. I don't even know what date it was. I didn't know what I had to move around. I'm like, I am going. I have to be there. I have to be amongst it. You know, I'm actually volunteering for the Grassroots Law Project, which is head up by Lee Merritt and Sean King. And, you know, if you know Lee Merritt, he's one of the best civil rights attorneys right now who's representing Ahmaud Arbery, Breonna Taylor. We're still trying to get justice for Tatiana Jefferson. And it's like, that's why we say their names, because there's so many hashtags. There's so many names that are forgotten. And there's so many people that are just kind of getting rolled over and they're not even seen as human. You know, and some people are just losing sight of their soul. They're losing their spirit and who they really are. And we just have to get back to the core, our core values and the foundation of self-love. And like Pastor said, collaboration, coming together, unifying, and understanding that we can't do this alone. No matter what, it doesn't matter. Just as we learned with Chadwick, it didn't matter how much money, how many accolades, accomplishments, awards. You can't take any of it with you. All we have is now, right now, and that's exactly why Our Truth Is Not a Lie is so timely. It's so powerful. It's so necessary that we have our voices heard. So you stand up and you know and recognize that Black lives matter.
Oh, y'all killing me in a good way. Like, what do you say? Like, you guys are literally saying what I feel internally on a day-to-day basis. And in the fact of so many people who go through different things, but aren't able to say what they feel, or because they're not like us, where we're like, hey, we're here. And for me, it was something I had to grow to, you know, because like you said, there were often times where you walk into a room and you are invisible. Like, it's just like, they don't even acknowledge you. And it's just like, oh, okay. So then it knocks on your value and you feel like you're not enough. And why are they treating me like this? And what's happening, and not understanding, and you internalize it. And a lot of people do that, where they experience things and they make it a them thing versus understanding it's not us, it's them. It's the person that's treating you in that manner. It's not, don't get me wrong, we all have, little, attitudes and whatever else happens. We're not perfect. That's not what we're saying. But ultimately, when somebody just treats you whatever way they want to treat you, because it's 99% of them, not you, ultimately. And so you said a lot of powerful things in regards to voting, in regards to us understanding that we have to come together and that we have to stand up for ourselves, because ultimately Ahmaud Arbery, as a matter of fact, this project is dedicated to all three of them, honestly. George Floyd, Breonna Taylor, and Ahmaud Arbery. Because when I saw, let me tell you, oh Lord, I'm about to get chills. When I saw what happened to Ahmaud, I was like, what is this? Like,
I couldn't watch it.
I can't even say 1962. Like 1900, like what is happening? Like, I don't understand. And for them, when it came out, I was like, oh, okay, like it just happened. No, that was what, 3 months ago? Like, how is that okay? But let us decide, like, oh, we want to go steal Skittles or something. It's like the end of the world. How is that fair? It's not fair. And then also, as I said earlier, how does that impact the children? Like, I was so triggered by that because
Jacob Blake.
For so long, I literally felt as though I wasn't good enough. I wasn't valuable enough. You know what I mean? I'm sitting here and I'm working myself to the ground, like literally burnt out in every single way, and like giving my 150% with no room for error. And it's like, I'm still not valuable enough. You're still not supportive of me in your company. So why would I want to sit here and deal with that? So seeing that triggered that again to say, wow, like, are we not important enough? Are we not valuable enough? What do we need to do so that you're not sitting here and violating us on and have footage? Like, there's actual footage. It's not word of mouth. It's like you can see it with your own eyes. And we still have to fight for any kind of justice, any kind of consequence. How could you, like, you don't have to say it anymore. Like, you know what I'm saying? You don't even have to. You don't even have to say it anymore. We see it loud and clear as to where we stand. So how does one navigate through that and living here? Because I keep saying I'm moving to England, and how does that make one not feel discouraged? You see what I'm saying? And that's why with this project, I felt it was so important for us to literally share our stories and to give a platform for all of us to share what we experience and what's happening. Because so many times, like you said, it's like we're invisible. It's like we're not heard. And it's so frustrating. And we started calling people, not we, but Karen started happening. And all of a sudden, it's a whole movement of how we're about to make it illegal. And I'm like, because you're being called Karen? Well, I done been called Keisha. I done been called Shaniqua. I done been called everything in the world. And I don't have not no little law coming in place talking about it's illegal. You know, so again, how does that make us feel as a people? How does it make the children that are seeing this feel? Like, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
That's what
Did y'all see my shirt? Did you see my shirt at the march? I just want you to know it must have went viral because I was in everybody's camera, on everybody's video, because I had a shirt that said, "I wish a Karen would." And it's so true. It's so true. We had a Karen at the last rally that I went to for anti-bully rally for a young girl, 12 years old, 13 years old, I believe she just turned, being bullied for 2 years now, an open investigation, and they still have not seen any type of justice. There's no recourse for the staff, the faculty, the administration and students that have assaulted her, that have bullied her, have invited her into group chats just to say really disgusting things to her, all because of the color of her skin, some of which look like us. So wow. I love what you said about the psychological damage that we are experiencing now. Mm-hmm. Not only are we being killed physically, but now we are now seeing it. So we're internalizing it. So now you are pretty much destroying us psychologically and emotionally. Mm-hmm. And now we have to rebuild. We have to rebuild our consciousness and our mindset and how we see ourselves and how we see each other.
Yeah.
I think that's very important about when you say rebuild. While you were talking, I kept hearing this, that we have to walk in the confidence and not in arrogance. But the confidence must be something that's within you at all times that no one can take away from you. The confidence of who you are. Here it is. You have value because you're born. You have value because you're breathing. You have value because your life hit the earth. And so there's a confidence that you have to hold on to no matter what they say. What did God say? Amen. God defines us. And I don't care what group, that breaks my heart, because I just wish somewhere in their lives where there was a piece that was broken, someone cared enough to say, guess what? Bullying is not okay. You don't have to receive it. And what they say does not have to stick to you. Every label that they put on you has no value. You can literally say, I don't receive it. And somewhere, these young people or even adults don't understand that because you say it doesn't give it value, doesn't make it right. I've got to know something inside myself. Come on, somebody. Yes. You got to know something within your knower that defines who you are. You know what? People can talk all day about affirmations, but if you don't affirm who you are, and know who you are and have self-talk and speak to yourself, you'll never rise to who you are. Because if you're always looking for affirmation from the outside of you, but not knowing who you are on the inside of you, that's where the problem begins.
Do you see what I'm saying? Like, do you see what I'm saying? Like this, oh my gosh, like, go ahead, Lavar.
I'm sitting back and I'm like, it's so true, because when I thought about the title for my chapter about rewriting the narrative, it came from a place of, as a Black male growing up in the inner city in Brooklyn, New York, and Brownsville.
Wait, I'm from New York. Talk about it. Come on.
Everybody type in the chat where you're tuning in from. Type in the chat where you're tuning in from.
But literally growing up in Brownsville, and as a 16-year-old, I had the braids, and I would often get stopped in my car all the time because I fit the description of a criminal. They didn't care that I was college educated, that I could read, that I was well traveled. When they saw me, they saw the images of what they portrayed Black males to look like. And for me, after a while, it does something to your own psyche. It as a Black male, it was like, do I have a voice? Can I leave my house without having to be stopped? And what does it even mean to be a Black male? Like what's my identity outside of hip hop, right? What's my identity outside of the cultural things that the media projects upon Black males? And it's like, you feel like, for me not to get stopped, I got to be in a suit. I can't just wear jeans and a t-shirt and be okay and just not have no attention placed upon me. So for a very long time, I had my own inferiority complex in terms of how I even showed up.
Wow.
And I think Pastor Elliott hit the nail on the head when she says that you have to kind of reestablish your identity and who God created you to be. And for me, it was no longer allowing my environments and things of my past to determine who I am. God created me with value, and because of that value, I can just be. There's no degree, there's no job title, there's nothing to validate my worth. That the worth that God created me was placed within me, and that's why I'm here.
Yes.
So
Amen.
once that shift in the framework for me happened, I started to take advantage of different opportunities and approach life a lot differently, because I'm like, at the end of the day, like literally last week, my cousin passed away in a car accident. He died at 34 years old.
Wow.
And I spoke on Friday at the memorial, and I'm like, what really matters in life is like, there's a day you're born, there's a day you die, but that dash in the middle is what really matters.
Yeah.
What you do in that dash, we talk about Chadwick Boseman, we speak about all the people who had an impact. Who would have thought that in 4 years of his struggle, he would put out that much purpose and impact in the world, and to have that impression on the globally, where literally children are like aspiring to be a character that doesn't even exist. So how I view my life now is like, yes, there are all of these issues taking place in society, but I'm here for a reason, and I can't allow the circumstances around me to make me feel hopeless. So how can I create through all this pain that I'm experiencing? How do I create? How do I have impact? How do I become an environment changer? How do I stop being a thermometer and become a thermostat? How do we begin to change our environments? And literally, for me, travel did that for me. Like the first time I traveled internationally, I was 16, and I went to Spain in high school. And my family's from Guyana, so culturally, it was like at that age, a lot of parents were like, "I don't want my child going away out the country."
Right.
Go ahead, have the experience. And looking back 10, 12 years now, it's like that literally removed the limitations of what I thought was possible. When I go to my community, I'm like, there's so much more to this community than this.
Yeah.
I have a mental picture of what's on the other side of that. So literally, when I was in Rwanda for 2 years, living in East Africa, it was like, I'm like, yo, there's so much more to the world than what we've experienced. Birds outside, and you don't even have to leave the country. You just gotta leave your community. You gotta leave your comfort zone.
Yes.
As you do that, you literally shape the framework and how you see yourself and how you see the world and how you show up. Literally, you have to live in that.
Yes, I'm going on vacation with you, Lavar, next time.
Listen, you see how he was real quiet in the back. I'm like, I'll put you on the spot because you take a listen. Okay. Shout out. Hold on. So Sharon said, come on, Pastor Steve, know who you are. Yes, we have Fraser Ramsey. Say hello to Fraser Ramsey. I got now. He's coming in all the way from Scotland. Listen, we international. Okay. So we have something coming, Mr. Fraser and I. He actually has his own radio station, and I'm going to announce that sooner rather than later. But that's what he's talking about. I'm not telling too much, but I'm super excited about that. Shout out to Document Radio. And then we have Sharon said, "Yes, you do, Lavar. You have a powerful voice. Yes. And then Fraser said, "God sees big, and He is still making miracles. Absolutely. And sorry for your loss." Oh, yes, I didn't know. We send you tons of love and virtual hugs. We got to do social distancing. So we're going to do virtual hugs and virtual love. Thank you. But you said some really, really, really powerful things in regards to one, understanding that your environment isn't the end all be all. And for so many, we don't understand what's in our radius is not 100% real life. You know what I mean? And when you spoke about how, you went to Rwanda, and I spoke about when I went to Thailand, and even watching after Black Panther came out, there was a video about from Korea where they were like, oh, well, when we see Black people, we only see drug dealers and this because they control what is seen. right? And so they have limited visuals of a representation of what Black people are. So when they saw Black Panther, they were like, "Oh, great job, Lavar! Yay! Yeah, he's the best. Trust me, I now am." But yeah, and so we get stuck and think that, okay, me being in the projects, that's all. There's nothing more. Me living in this area, there's nothing more. And we have to understand that there is a world for us to see. There's a world that we have no clue about, and it's up to us to have that mindset that we want more, that we deserve more. And sometimes we have individuals that are super comfortable with where they are, which is kind of nowhere, honestly. No offense to anybody. Don't take this. I'm sorry if I stepped on your toes. I didn't mean to. But there are people that literally are comfortable with being are comfortable in being uncomfortable and being mediocre. You know what I'm saying? And you have to understand, so when I say it, when people treat you, mind how people treat you is not about you, it's about them. It's because there are people in this world that will see us and see the greatness in us and then try to spew their negativity and their lack mindset and their small mindset to pull us back down to their level and to their comfort zone. And, back in the day, I would give you the time of day. I had the time and the energy to give the energy. But not anymore, because you're now seeing things from a third eye perspective, where you see the bigger picture, where you see how you've traveled and you've seen different countries, you've seen different environments, you've seen different things, all of us. You know what I mean? And it helps you to shift and understand that, yes, this is the color of my skin, but ultimately it does not define who I am and who I can be, and the game-changing ways that I have and what I'm about to do and what I'm about to show you. You know what I mean? And so it's super powerful for you to say, for us to understand that, one, our environment that's not the end all be all. We can achieve more, we can do more, it's within us. But again, we have to understand that it's within us and then take the steps and the action to get to where we want to be. Because ultimately we can have dreams, it's all great. We dream every day, but it's about when we get up and we have those downloads, or we have those visions, or we have those things that we want to achieve, that we put the steps to it so that we can make it happen. Hold on one second. Let me see. So she said, "This is a divine moment, truly appointed by God indeed. We are blessed for this opportunity." Oh, shit! I love it. And so everything that you guys have all said is super powerful, and it's super important for all of us to understand that we are power. Like, our voices more than matter. You know what I mean? Literally, our voices more than matter. Our visions more than matter. We're no longer fighting just to matter. Like, we more than matter. You know what I mean? And it's sad that we have to even fight to matter ultimately, but at the same time, now we have the platforms that we can build our own and have these conversations. Like, who's gonna stop us? Nobody. Anyway, and if you try, trust me, Chanel is very innovative. I will find a different way in a heartbeat. Just saying. So play if you want. But y'all already know. No shade to Amazon. But just saying.
Who's gonna check me, boo?
Okay. But ultimately, we all have to understand that we can be what we want to be, and we have to push past the fear. We have to push past the barriers. They're going to come. There are some, like you said earlier, when Taniesha, that when we're stepping in our right path, when we have greatness coming alongside of us or coming to us, there's always going to be some blocker. There's always going to be a barrier. There's always going to be something thrown at us, and it's not about us. It's no longer reacting, but responding and seeing it and navigating the way that we need to make the necessary steps. And that's why I feel like what's happening in this world now, yes, it is disgraceful. It's embarrassing, honestly. I'm like, people are like, "Where do you live?" I'm like, Canada. You know what I mean? Because it's very disheartening to see where we are. It's good because, again, it's exposing where we are. That's one. You know what I mean? You can't deal with a silent ghost. You can't, because for so long everybody's like, "No, it's great. We're all skipping down the block. What are you talking about? Slavery ended 400 years ago." Like, you know what I mean? But when we look at Selma, when we look at all these different things, Dee Dee, when we look at Martha, like, it wasn't that long ago. They're literally sharing their stories with us of what they experienced, and seeing what's happening in 2020. You can no longer ignore it. You have to address it. You have to make the necessary change for equality and for us to feel safe. Like, we shouldn't have to be like, "Oh my gosh, how am I gonna, like, am I gonna make it back to my house?" Like, what? That doesn't make any sense, because nobody else has to experience that. When I had a conversation, there is no race that we feel superior to, but there are so many races that see us as inferior.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? And it's like, what did we do to you? You know what I'm saying? Like, what did we do to you for you to put that on us, right? You know what I mean?
Well, they know our greatness, though. That's the thing. They know our greatness because they always want to tap into it. That's why we are the most duplicated, most mimicked, most imitated race and culture of people. And so they want to know what it is we have. But it's almost like if we rise up, if we unify, if we come together and we become too strong, that we could be a threat. You know, because white supremacy is about maintaining whiteness, maintaining the wealth, maintaining hierarchy. And so in a hierarchy, there's always got to be somebody on top, right? There's always got to be somebody in the bottom. And I think that's where people are comfortable with. And so now we are in this space where it's like, what are you willing to sacrifice? What are you willing to die for? Because our civil rights activists, they were willing to die. And it was hot out there with two masks on, and we couldn't really social distance. There was at least 250,000 people out there. If you saw the pictures that I posted, if you've seen footage. So, but I said, well, listen, Harriet, she ran back and she did this, that, and the third. And Rosa, I'm thinking about all of our people that sacrificed their lives. I'm like, okay, well, we're a little uncomfortable, but that's what it's going to take.
Yeah.
Think about that. Like, you only steal something that has value. So if you look at our history, if you look at kind of the slave trade, like you don't steal something that doesn't have value, like within itself. And so when you think about culture, you think about the extent of erasing history. When you think about the different efforts and attempts to at least allow us to question our identity and our values, they have won. So if you step back and you're like, wow, like, and really think about it, like, you know, I'm sure my ancestors were fine in West Africa on the beaches with
right.
locally grown good food, and you know, I'm sure they were good, but to strip of language, culture, and then provide a bastardized version of English, and then and create a system where we now have to navigate this new system in limitation. It's like you starting off with a false sense of who you are. This newly created system. So it's like, until we can get to a place where we can create our own platforms, create our own institutions. So get back to that Black Wall Street mindset where we are kind of creating the environments that allow us to thrive, and that's equitable and fair, and that's rooted in our value. Nothing changes because we're trying to change the system that was never created for us. So it's like we get frustrated when these things continually happen, and I get upset because literally I'm like tired of having the conversations about like racial justice, because it's like we talk about it, we cry, we get upset, and then another incident happens. And why is that? Because it's the system that continues to push out these events. It doesn't value Black skin. It never did. So until we can come together and recognize that, listen, the only way for us to address a lot of these issues is we begin to create our own system that allows us to be valued, to be educated, to be uplifted, to be empowered, to create the change that we really want to see. Until we're at the table and having these kind of conversations, nothing changes, because the folks who are implementing policies that shape our everyday life do not look like us. They don't come from communities that are affected like our community. So how do we begin to get to the table? How do we elevate our voices now through platforms like this and through these kind of conversations, and through literally game changers coming to the table, using our economics, using our mind power, using our education, and really trying to make a change? That's where change starts to happen. But we can't continually be reactive. And somehow we're always shocked when it's happening. We're shocked, like, oh my gosh, you know what should happen. And it's all happening during the pandemic. What do you think? Like, I mean, if you look at the percentage of Black Americans who have died as a result of just the disparities in healthcare due to the pandemic, it's crazy. So it's like, you can't continue to be surprised and shocked. We've been seeing this for generations and generations and generations. So like the cycle has to stop here. And I think that's what this generation is about.
I gotta piggyback. Let me give me about 10 seconds. Count me down. 10, 9, 8. Count me down. What you said was important. Here it is. 2 things. Instead of waiting for people to give us permission to come to the table, we build our own. I don't get to wait for you to give me permission to come up. I would rather be invited up than to be invited down. But I'd rather build my own than see a door that's open that you don't give me access to. And when you also begin to talk about community and systems and history, and our history, the greatest thing we have as a community, as a race, is our families and conversations where we can sit around and grandma can tell us about what really happened. I know what you tell me in these books that you give me in school, but they've been changed so much that I can now remember what grandma told me, or the time when our families came together. And that's the issue with the family unit. We no longer sit together. We no longer fellowship. We no longer commune together. We got TV, we got electronics, we got everything. But back in the day, we sat down with our families and we knew our history. We knew our cousins and them. We knew them, okay? All right. So I'm a Bed-Stuy girl that went to Memphis, Tennessee. When I needed to get out of the city, I went to learn about my culture in the South. And I sat with my grandmother, my grandfather, who are no longer living on my mom's side. But it's like, we need community that communicates to let us know and remind us where we come from. I know what you read, but we know the truth because we lived it. And this is what we know to be the truth. And so I think our knowledge, where we get our knowledge from, is going to be very important as we move forward. Final thing I want to say, if I don't have another opportunity, is this. This is the season to talk less and make more moves.
That's good. Yes.
We're talking too much and we're not doing what we're supposed to do. We are making too many announcements. And in this season, our season is getting ready to shift spiritually and naturally. But it's how we take advantage of the knowledge that we now know, that it doesn't work against us. It works for us.
Yes. You're not finished about that. You got to do a mini sermon. I need something from you before we go. You got like, oh my Lord, that's how we closing this. Okay, we got to go to church today. I'm just saying. Opportunity for you to say something. Did you want to add something?
I wanted to share something today. Even this whole weekend, it's been like so traumatic for my kids. My kids are very smart. All my kids is like 14 and under. So to be a mother of 4 kids, and from the age of 14 on down to 4, my 4-year-old has a 22-year-old mindset. He observed what his brothers and sister does. So today, it was like last night, my thing was knowledge is power. And it's like confirmation over and over again what we really need to do as our community. Voting, all that above. I talked about that last night. And God just let everything come right back to me, because it's like I'm being molded in this season. And at the same time, I'm being molded and elevated. I'm elevating my kids at the same time. So I just thank God that in Miami, I'm in Miami, Florida, that they finally put back prayer back in school. But I was like, you know what? I'm going to start back praying with my kids in the morning. So I said, we got our own prayer going on. So we got early 6:45 says, let me tell you something. My kids have blown me out the socket this morning. And it just feels so good when you can be the biggest motivator to your kids and you think they're not paying no attention, but they really paying attention. And you have a daughter that's 9 that want to tell you, I'm going to be my mama underbearer when she get her church, or I'm going to be her assistant. I got this. Nobody don't need to help her. But to be in the circle this morning and hold my kids' hand and let them start off. The prayers. I wish I would have recorded and just played it on my headliner just by itself, because this is where we have to start at. It starts with in the house with our kids. And some people not want to do that because they're too busy wanting to do the worldly things. They're not worried about the spiritual side, that where it starts from. Because when we was young, and like grandma, like Mama Sandra said, my grandma, she molded me to be the person I am today. I might have shut my mouth for a minute because of the mental illness that I had, that I went through. The rape broke me down. I was broken. I didn't know how I was going to come out of it. Being in the mental hospital, being tied to that bed, and being doped up, getting shots. Don't know if I'm coming or going. My mama, she's there looking, and I'm in la la land. Ooh. So when you coming out of a mental situation and people really don't know your story, don't know what you went through, don't know how many times God spared your life because you tried to kill yourself and be in this shootout at the wrong time. So this is why I always share my testimony. Like you give too much. No, I'm not saying enough, because if you're saying enough, you won't be doing the things that you're doing in your life right now. It's time to wake up. It's time to reflect on not the past but the future and get your life in order. It's process time. It's spiritual process time. I always stress this out. Like, I'm never stopped growing in this supernatural, because you know why? Because that's what's going to help us, and that's what's going to push us through everything. When you look at back over your life, what you've been through, and like, oh my God, if you really, really take it seriously and write it down, like I went through all this, I did all that, and it's not about the credit, about who we help. It's our job to do it. It's our job to mold our kids. And just to see my kids so active, and my son looked at me before I got on here, he was like, Mom, he want me to say what I feel about the pandemic, like write paragraphs. So to even have a teacher that even reflect and worry about the mindset of the kids, like how they affect them, that meant a lot to me, because I was like, okay, when you was talking earlier about the bullying, my son was 10 at the time, and I was trying to hold my peace, not to even cry on here, y'all. They tortured my baby in school. They kept on the rug, and I was being so calm and humble, not to come out my flesh, but because I love the person who ran the school. But you can't just continue to think that, okay, because I'm gonna stay humble at times, and it's because it's my child. Okay, I'm gonna go probably pray about it, get over it. No, it was starting to be a system. Not only my child, other children. So when I see that you're not gonna handle it, I'm being calm and coming to it. But when it has to come out my flesh, and the old tissue got to come out, it's a problem. So I had to step back a couple bit, because I rushed to the school, and I probably came out of character. I had to go back and repent.
It's all right. It's the kids.
I'm still under construction, but when it comes to my kids and my husband, I don't play about that. That I take that very seriously, and I teach my kids not to be bullied. I teach my kids not to pick at people, because I know how I feel growing up, and it made me bitter because people used to pick at me in school because I wouldn't talk, and not knowing that I was really traumatized from when I was raped when I was young. I used to hold my peace. Then I became that outspeaks. Then I became the bully because they bullied me. So when my child got bullied, it was like a reflex to me, like, okay, it's motor time. And he's still a little bitter, but he got so much in him. And to hear his prayer today, I literally wanted to just cry. Like, God, just keep my mama covered. I know she's going to be healed from the seizure soon. People don't know what my everyday life is. I fight every day in my life because I have trauma in my brain. And how everybody else function, y'all see me now, I'm happy-go-lucky right now because I have to push myself there. I have to pray myself way through the day. And sometimes I have downer days. But you don't want to know, because I smile through my pain. I had to learn, I got to stop doing that. I got to start, like, reflecting on what's really going on and just asking God to heal me inside out. You know, it's a lot going on right now in the pandemic, but what I'm saying is it's a blessing to be amongst people that can really share the hurt that you're going through and don't criticize you and don't say, aha, that happened to you, and really just be genuine and say, let's pray together. I have people that I started off with this year, we're not even close anymore, and I'm trying to figure out why. Okay, God, is it me? What did I do? I didn't do nothing. But we have to realize, us as people, when we're loyal and we genuinely love people, some people are here for a season, some people are here for a reason, but we enjoy it while it lasts. So when it don't last, you don't do the pity potty anymore. You don't be the petty betties anymore. You don't do tit for tat. Because if they throw something at you, just know it's something powerful that you got in the side of you that they value. That's why they attacking you, because you're going up. We're not going down this season. It had us at a standstill, but we're elevated to the next level. And while we're elevated, and Lavar, and I give kudos to you all day, because it's time for a game changer. We are the people that's going to be the game changer. And I stand 10 foot toes, 10 fingers, 10 toes in with y'all. Whatever y'all got going on, I want to be involved.
Come on, 10 toes. Come on.
Yeah.
Really quickly. Oh, look. So Fraser Ramsey, he said, "Great guest. Love to have you on my podcast in Scotland." So I'll send you his information because he's like the sweetest Scottish man I ever met in my life. I'm like, I think you're so great. He's so nice. He said Chanel's quick at connecting. I am. I don't want to say your name wrong. Ayende.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yes. And then Cheryl said, "Amen, Tanisha." And then she said, "Tanisha, you were my children's book. Give the little ones their own voice." Yes. I love it. So I'm going to give all of you opportunity to tell the audience how they can connect with you. And Pastor Cassandra, I didn't forget. And Renee, you lucky because I make you close out with a song today. If you can close us out, I would really, really appreciate it. But Lavar, you go first. Tell us how we can connect with you.
Yes, you can connect me on Instagram. It's Empower for Greatness with the number 4. I'm also on Facebook and LinkedIn. You can go to my website, lavarthomas.com, to learn about my work, my organization, what I'm doing for youth. And yeah, we can stay in touch through those mediums.
Yes. Go ahead, Taniesha.
You can find me on Evangelist Taniesha Ramsey-Lane on Facebook. You can also find me on Millennials Ministry Radio Talk Show. We actually have a YouTube channel, so you can also subscribe to that channel because we're trying to take it off. Just stay connected, and you never know what I'll be doing next. Whatever I'm doing next, I will make sure I tag all of these on here so you guys can stay connected as well, because we have to follow and be a blessing to somebody else, so somebody else can be a blessing, and share. Sharing is caring. That's what I live for all day.
Yes. Go ahead, Pastor Cassandra.
You can find me on Instagram at I am Cassandra Elliott. On Facebook, PC Cassandra Elliott. Website is www.cassandraelliott.com. Thank you so much for having me, and I want everybody to win.
Yes. Go ahead, Vernae.
Yes. Well, I'm not going to be too far. For those that are listening, men and women, we are suffering a lot of loss right now. So I am doing a masterclass tonight, this evening, healing from a loss and overcoming grief, right here on Facebook. You can follow me or find me on Instagram, Vernae Taylor. That's Victorious, ERNAE on all platforms. And you'll see the links there. And I'm here. So I'm here to serve you. And I would really love for you guys to come to the masterclass, because we all need help in coping with our pain. We all have pain. We all are worthy. We are all going through a really tough time. And as we had to do this morning, we have to pivot. We have to come together. We have to love on one another and always reaffirm who it is that we are. So thank you so much, Chanel. Thank you guys for all of you being on here and all the amazing authors that are going to be coming on later on today. So keep tuning in for this amazing soft launch of Our Truth Is Not a Lie.
Yes. Hold on 1 second. We said Lashina said 10 tones in. Love it. Yeah. And Fraser said all these people on Dominant Radio would be gold. Yeah, I told you. Period. Okay. So Pastor Cassandra, go ahead. I'm gonna let you do your thing. Just feel like cry. I'm gonna give you the screen, then I'll come back on and do the closing. I appreciate all of you guys for all that you do and being part of this project, and everything that you said today. Oh my gosh, I'm gonna come back for my spiel. But go ahead, Pastor Cassandra. This is your show.
So I just wanted to say to everybody that's been listening today, please know that everything we've said today, it matters. And if I were you, I would go back and listen to this replay over and over again. In the days and the moments when you feel like you're losing hope, God, I just feel it in my heart. So many people are losing hope, but I need you to know that we stand together. We stand together as one, and that if you let things break us apart, then it will happen. But I want to encourage everybody that we need to stand united as one voice, as one force, knowing that the promises of God are yes and amen. And what is that promise? The promise of peace, the promise of abundant life. And I've got to say that in this year of 2020, even though we're in unprecedented time, COVID-19, we're in this lockdown, shutdown, stay-at-home order, pause on purpose, that there's a reason that we're here. And what I believe is that whatever has been underlying for so long needed to rise to the top so that we can stand up and know who we are, know our power. Also, to reclaim our voice. It is a season of reclaiming your voice, knowing that your voice matters and what you say matters. So therefore, when you speak, whatever you say will create the world that you want to live in. And I believe that there are three things that happened in this month of 8. Number one, God wanted us to initiate, create, and he gave us a clean slate. I'm going to say it again. 3 things. Initiate. That means initiate those things that have been in your heart to do, that you've been kind of putting on the shelf and saying, oh, I'll get to it later. Later is now. Whatever you've been waiting to do, this is a season of activation, the season of birthing, the season of beginning, the season of creation, that you can no longer sit back and say, I'll get to it eventually. No. You must initiate and motivate yourself to move in a season of momentum. And that season is now. Create. It is time to create the life you want to live, not based on what anybody says, what anybody does. This is the time that you create the life, which means that you don't wait for anybody to give you an invitation. You create the life. Like I said earlier, you don't wait for somebody to invite you to the table. You build your own. Why? Because there are people that you must build the table for, so that you can invite them up to the place. For the underdog, to those that have been bullied, to those that have been overlooked, you build a table, a place that you can say, I've been where you are. I've suffered the things you suffered. And guess what? I was able to come up, and now I'm building a table for you to sit at to show you how to come up. You don't leave people behind that you've been through the same thing they've been through. You pull them along with you and say, come on, I got you, baby. Come on, sister, I got you. You don't leave people behind, but you bring them with you and say, we can win together. And clean slate. For the things that disappointed you and you've been discontented, and the things that you've literally given up on, God is saying, in the month of 8, today is the last day. Within these next 24 hours, I want you to make a decision that God has given you a clean slate, and that you can move through disappointment. You can move through discontentment and say, you know what? I'm going to forgive myself, and I'm going to try again. That I'm going to not let other people unerase the things that God has erased concerning my life, the bad decisions that I've made, the bad choices that I've made, the relationships that I've been in, the connections that I've been in, the things that did not bring me value. Those things now are wiped away, and I'm starting again. Initiate, create, clean slate. This is the season that you can begin again. No matter what's going on in the world, you know what? It is infecting the world, but it doesn't have to infect you. That's so good right there. I'm going to say it again. Don't let what's out in the world infect you. Affect it. Be the change that you want to see. Don't just talk about it. It's a season to be about it. Thank you, Chanel.
I didn't mean to press. Oh my, listen. I was trying to comment to Lavar, but yeah, oh my, first of all, can you say those 3 things again, please? You said you had, the month of 8 is what?
The month to initiate, create, and God has given us a clean slate.
Did I tell you? She just got me. That's probably why I pressed the button by accident, because she just got me with the tip. Because she was like, you gotta pull people. Oh my gosh, like, oh, Pastor Cassandra, you are just so amazing, and I appreciate you and everything that you do and everything that you stand for and the message that you put out in the world. You are just such a light, and I love everything that you do and everything that you are. And I just, oh my gosh. So thank you. Can we just give a round of applause, please? Can we give everybody a round of applause for how amazing?
I have chills. Chills after she said that.
Thank
Amen.
you so much. A round of applause for all of you too who just said the yes and are authors again, or first time author, whatever. Congratulations to all of you. So round of applause for all of you as well for just being who you are and continuing to achieve your goals and just stepping into your greatness. I absolutely love it. So I thank you all. Say bye to the beautiful people now. Say bye to the beautiful people. So thank you all for tuning in. I appreciate all of you. Hold on, let me see what's happening in here. Frazier said, how the heck do you do it? I don't know. Thank you, Jesus. Lashina said, mic drop, amen. Yes. And Sharon is with yes with the prayer head with the yes. Thank you all for tuning in. Thank you to all of these amazing call authors for sharing their stories and saying yes to this project. And congratulations to all of them for being here and being on this platform. Initiate, create, and clean slate. Yeah, listen, she needs to like trademark that. That is so fire. I love that. I love that. But I thank all of my amazing authors for being a part of this project and sharing their stories and being a part of this launch and just being so amazing and sharing their stories, their experiences, and just dropping all these amazing gems. I appreciate all of you. And please tune in. We'll be back at 2:00 for our next live event, and I appreciate all of you for tuning in. And if you don't know by now, we are here because of Our Truth Is Not a Lie, an anthology project with 18 compelling stories talking about the Black experience. So just a little to see. Go to www.ourtruthbook.com to get more information. And I appreciate all of you for tuning in. And if you want to connect with me, my Instagram and Facebook is @ChanelSpencerNow. And my website is www.readytotransformnow, because you need to do it now. Okay, after this live, you need to do it now, not tomorrow. So again, I appreciate all of you for tuning in. And I will see you in a minute. Thank you. Bye, beautiful people.